22 years ago in Lode Town, the legendary pirate Gold Roger is brought before a massive crowd to be executed, with Marine Vice Admiral Garp overseeing the event. Just before his death, someone asks Roger,
"Where is your treasure?"
Roger laughs and declares,
"My treasure is yours to find."
Moments later he is executed, but his words ignite the world, launching the Great Pirate Era. In the present day, a young pirate named Monkey D. Luffy dreams of finding Roger's treasure, the One Piece, and becoming King of the Pirates! Unfortunately, his journey starts poorly when his tiny boat sinks, forcing him to hide inside a barrel that drifts across the sea. The barrel ends up aboard the pirate ship Miss Loveduck, captained by the ruthless Alvida. There, Luffy meets the timid cabin boy Kobe, who reveals he's basically a slave to Alvida's crew. While searching for food, Luffy tells Kobe about his dream to sail the Grand Line and live with complete freedom. Their escape attempt quickly turns chaotic when Alvida catches them. She attacks in a rage, but during the fight Luffy reveals his strange power. His body stretches like rubber after eating the Gum Gum Devil Fruit years earlier. With a powerful Gum Gum pistol, Luffy punches Alvida overboard, defeating her and freeing Kobe. Meanwhile on Six's Island, the deadly bounty hunter Roronoa Zoro is approached by Mr. 7, who invites him to join the assassin organization Baroque Works. Zoro refuses and defeats him in a brutal duel, proving his incredible sword skills. As Luffy and Kobe continue sailing together, Luffy explains how he gained his rubber powers as a child after accidentally eating Shanks' devil fruit. Inspired by the pirate Shanks, Luffy dreams of gathering a crew and sailing the Grand Line. Elsewhere, a clever thief named Nami tricks two pirates and steals their boat after pretending to be a helpless victim, revealing her talent for deception and her obsession with maps. Eventually, Luffy and Kobe arrive at Shell's Town, home of a marine base ruled by the tyrannical Captain Axehand Morgan. Inside a bar, Zoro stands up to Morgan's spoiled son Helmeppo after he humiliates a little girl. Zoro defeats several marines, but Morgan forces him into imprisonment. Later, Luffy sneaks into the marine base to steal a map to the Grand Line, where he unexpectedly meets Nami doing the same thing. The two reluctantly team up to steal the map from Morgan's office. When Morgan discovers them, a massive fight erupts. Zoro joins the battle, revealing his powerful three-sword style, while Luffy unleashes his rubber abilities. Together they defeat Morgan, with Luffy finishing him off using Gum Gum Whip. With the map secured, Luffy excitedly calls them his new crew, but both Zoro and Nami refuse the title. Meanwhile, Kobe chooses to stay behind and pursue his dream of becoming a marine. Though they may become enemies someday, Luffy and Kobe part as friends. Far away, Vice Admiral Garp learns that a pirate wearing a straw hat has stolen a map to the Grand Line. Realizing the potential danger, he sets out to investigate. And somewhere else, the clown pirate Buggy hears about Luffy and begins plotting to steal the map for himself. Luffy's adventure has only just begun. 10 years before the present day, Monkey D. Luffy excitedly tests his new rubber powers inside Makino's bar. Makino explains that he ate a mysterious devil fruit, which grants incredible abilities but takes away the user's ability to swim. Soon after, Shanks and the Red Hair Pirates return from sea with supplies, but Shanks reveals something heartbreaking to Luffy: their crew is leaving for good. Back in the present, Luffy, Zoro, and Nami sail away after stealing Captain Morgan's safe. While Nami struggles to open it, Luffy almost loses his straw hat, the treasure Shanks gave him. Inside the safe they finally find the map to the Grand Line, though Nami doubts the legendary One Piece even exists. Before they can celebrate, their ship is suddenly attacked by another pirate crew. A strange red gas knocks them unconscious, but not before Luffy quickly swallows the map to protect it. When they wake up, they discover they've been captured by the Buggy pirates and thrown onto a circus stage in Orange Town. The town has been completely destroyed, and the terrified citizens are forced to act as the audience. Their captain, the flamboyant clown pirate Buggy, reveals that he also wants the map so he can find the One Piece and become Pirate King. Buggy captures Luffy and tortures him with a stretching device while interrogating him about the map. During the conversation, Buggy recognizes Luffy's straw hat. It once belonged to Shanks, someone Buggy used to sail with long ago. Meanwhile, Zoro is tied to a spinning wheel while Buggy's acrobatic fighter Kabeji throws knives at him for fun, and Nami is locked in a cage. As the chaos unfolds, Luffy finally breaks free and punches Buggy, seemingly knocking his head clean off. But Buggy quickly reveals his own devil fruit power, the Chop Chop fruit, allowing him to split his body into floating pieces. He knocks Luffy unconscious and traps him in a glass tank slowly filling with seawater, exploiting Luffy's weakness. At the same time, Nami manages to pick her lock and free herself. She helps Zoro escape, and together they defeat Kabeji before rushing to rescue Luffy. Nami shatters the tank with her staff, freeing him just in time, but Buggy grabs the map. Using teamwork, the trio discovers Buggy's weakness. While he splits his body into pieces to attack them, they knock each body part into treasure chests, trapping them so he can't reassemble. With Buggy reduced to just a head and a few limbs, Luffy launches his finishing move, blasting Buggy completely off the island. With Buggy defeated, Luffy frees the enslaved citizens of Orange Town, promising he isn't there to rule them but simply to help. As the trio sails away, Luffy remembers the day Shanks gave him the straw hat, telling him to return it once he becomes a great pirate. Inspired by that promise, Luffy continues chasing his dream. Meanwhile, at the Marine base, Vice Admiral Garp begins a manhunt for the mysterious Straw Hat Luffy. And as their ship sails toward the Grand Line, Nami secretly contacts someone using a Den Den Mushi.
You can tell him I have the map.
For the past 7 years in Syrup Village, a boy named Usopp has cried, "The pirates are coming!" every single morning. What once caused panic has now become a joke. No one believes him anymore.
There are no pirates. Haven't been in years.
Out at sea, Monkey D. Luffy proudly reveals the Jolly Roger for his so-called crew, the Straw Hat Pirates, much to Zoro and Nami's annoyance. But their celebration is cut short when they realize their ship is taking on water and sinking. With no choice, Nami charts a course to the nearby Gecko Islands, home to a shipyard where they can get a new vessel. Meanwhile, on a marine battleship, Vice Admiral Garp begins training Kobe, teaching him to think aggressively rather than defensively if he wants to defeat pirates. When news arrives that Luffy is heading to the Gecko Islands, Garp sets course, now actively hunting the Straw Hat Pirate. Elsewhere, the defeated clown pirate Buggy is confronted by a mysterious fishman working for the feared pirate Arlong, the strongest in the East Blue. Arlong demands tribute, but Buggy instead offers information. Luffy has the map to the Grand Line and proposes an alliance to hunt him down. Arriving at Syrup Village, Luffy and his crew search for a ship. Luffy is instantly drawn to a unique vessel with a sheep figurehead, but it's not for sale. That's when they meet Usopp,
I'm Chief Technician in charge of incrustation removal and Avery waste eradication.
who claims the ship belongs to his rich friend and offers to take them to her. Usopp leads them to a massive mansion owned by Kaya, a kind but fragile girl celebrating her 18th birthday. Despite her strict and suspicious butler Klahadore, Kaya warmly invites the Straw Hats to stay for dinner. During the meal, Luffy bluntly admits they are pirates and asks for the ship, shocking everyone, especially Klahadore. That night, things take a dark turn. In the mansion's cellar, the caretaker Mary confronts Klahadore only to discover the truth. Klahadore is actually the infamous pirate Captain Kuro, long thought dead. In a shocking moment, Kuro reveals his clawed weapons and brutally stabs Mary, setting his plan into motion. At the same time, secrets unfold around the mansion.
Got it from my dad.
Usopp shares his past, revealing his father is a pirate, none other than Yasopp from Shank's crew. Meanwhile, Nami nearly steals valuables from Kaya, but after a heartfelt conversation, she quietly puts everything back, showing a glimpse of her true character. Down in the cellar, Zoro discovers Kuro's identity, leading to a sudden clash, but he is knocked unconscious. Kuro's crew throws both Zoro and Mary into a well, while Usopp barely escapes. Desperate, Usopp runs through the village ringing the bell, screaming that "Pirates! Help, please! But just like always, no one believes him. His cries are dismissed as lies, rooted in his past of pretending his pirate father would return to comfort his dying mother. Broken and alone, Usopp collapses in despair.
Pirates are here. They really are. Why won't anybody believe me?
But then, someone steps forward. Kobe arrives and says,
I believe you.
the truth is finally coming, and this time, the pirates really are coming. At Syrup Village, Usopp finally finds someone who believes him, Kobe. He urgently reveals that Klahadore is actually the pirate Kuro, plotting to kill Kaya. While Helmeppo dismisses it as nonsense, Kobe chooses to trust Usopp and investigate. Back at the mansion, the danger escalates. Nami discovers Luffy unconscious after drinking poison soup and hides as Kuro and his crew plan to dump his body. But before they can act, Kobe and the Marines arrive. Kuro plays the perfect role of an innocent butler, and without proof, Kobe is forced to stand down, allowing the villain to continue his plan. Meanwhile, Zoro awakens trapped in a well. As he struggles to escape, he remembers his past with Kuina, the rival he could never defeat, and the promise he made to become the world's greatest swordsman after her tragic death.
And one of us become the world's greatest swordsman to ever live.
Driven by that vow, Zoro pushes himself and finally climbs out, stronger than ever. Usopp tries one last time to warn Kaya, but she refuses to believe him and slaps him. Still, this time Usopp doesn't run. He chooses to stay and protect her, proving his courage for the first time. At midnight, Kuro makes his move. The mansion locks down, and the truth is finally revealed. Kaya realizes her illness was caused by Kuro all along. As Kuro closes in to kill her, Nami and Usopp stand their ground. Outside, Luffy suddenly wakes up, shakes off the poison, and convinces Kobe to let him go back. Zoro arrives, and the two rush into the mansion. Inside, chaos erupts. Zoro takes on Sham and Butchie in a fierce 2-on-1 fight and defeats them. Meanwhile, Kuro confronts Kaya, but Luffy steps in. Kuro mocks Luffy's idea of piracy, calling swearing at a life of betrayal and fear, but Luffy fires back, declaring that being a pirate means freedom and trusting your crew. The two clash. Despite Kuro's speed, Luffy adapts, using his surroundings to land a powerful hit before finishing him with a devastating launching Kuro out of the mansion. With the battle over, Kai rewards the crew with a ship, the one Luffy fell in love with. He names it the Going Merry. Then, Luffy invites Usopp to join as their sniper. At first, Usopp hesitates, torn between his home and his dream. But Kai encourages him to go, wanting to hear his real adventures one day, and sends him off with a kiss. Now officially a crew, the Straw Hats set sail on the Going Merry. But their journey is just beginning, as a marine battleship appears on the horizon. When Luffy looks through a spyglass, he casually reveals the shocking truth.
Grandpa?
Grandpa?
The moment Luffy casually calls the Navy Vice Admiral Grandpa, the crew is stunned. Flashbacks reveal a harsh childhood. Every time Luffy tried to be a pirate, Garp crushed his dreams, forcing him to train as a marine. Back in the present, Garp's battleship opens fire on the Going Merry. Nami urges escape, but Luffy refuses to run. As cannonballs rain down, Usopp struggles to fire back, and the crew is nearly overwhelmed.
By order of the Marines, lower your sails and submit to my authority.
Then Garp personally hurls a massive cannonball, but Luffy inflates like a balloon and blasts it right back. The hit damages Garp's ship, and while furious, he bursts into laughter as the Straw Hats vanish into the fog. Lost at sea, Luffy suddenly follows the smell of food, leading them to the floating restaurant Baratie. Inside, they meet Sanji, a cook with deadly kicks and a sharp attitude. After a chaotic encounter with rude pirates, Sanji impresses everyone with both his strength and skill in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Garp makes a terrifying move. He calls in Dracula Mihawk, the greatest swordsman in the world, to hunt Luffy down. Back at Baratie, Luffy racks up a massive bill and is forced to work it off in the kitchen. There, he bonds with Sanji.
There's this place where you can find ingredients for more forces. They call it the Orc. I'm gonna find it one day. That's my dream.
A starving pirate named Jin begs for food. Despite the risk, Sanji feeds him without hesitation, proving his true character. But everything changes when Mihawk arrives.
You're the captain. I should very much like to meet this Luffy.
Drunk and bragging, Usopp unknowingly leads him straight to Zoro. The moment Roronoa Zoro sees Mihawk, he does the unthinkable.
I, Roronoa Zoro, challenge you to a duel to the death. My lifelong dream is to best you in single combat and become the greatest swordsman in the world.
Tomorrow at dawn.
At dawn, the battle begins. Mihawk pulls out a tiny dagger.
What the hell is that? I'm here for a sword fight.
I don't hunt rabbits with a cannon.
Mocking Zoro, yet still completely overwhelms him. Even after being stabbed, Zoro refuses to fall.
Why don't you retreat?
I can't, or my dream will be lost forever.
You're brave. I'll give you that. So I'll do you the honor of killing you with Yoru.
He unleashes his three-sword style, risking everything for his dream. Mihawk finally draws his true blade, Yoru, and in one devastating strike, shatters Zoro's swords and defeats him. But in his final act of pride, Zoro accepts his defeat. Because a swordsman never takes a wound on the back, Mihawk honors his spirit, sparing his life and declaring that he'll wait for Zoro to become stronger. He raises his remaining sword and makes a vow
To become the greatest swordsman.
I'll never lose again!
As Zoro collapses, Luffy stands beside him, silent but burning with determination. Because now, the journey isn't just about adventure anymore, it's about proving their dreams to the world. Luffy, Nami, and Usopp are rushing the badly wounded Zoro into the Going Merry. He's barely alive after his duel with Mihawk. Nami urges Luffy to find a doctor at Baratie immediately. Inside the restaurant, Luffy bursts into the kitchen. Zeph explains the nearest doctor is 2 days away, but Sanji refuses to wait and steps in to help, with Zeph joining him. Using an old sailor's method, Zeph stitches Zoro's wound and places yellowtail skin over it, but warns them Zoro has 1 foot in the afterlife. If they want him to live, they must stay with him and keep him fighting. Meanwhile, Garp confronts Mihawk, demanding Luffy's location. Mihawk refuses, intrigued by Luffy's potential and even suggesting he might find the One Piece. Furious, Garp destroys his office. Later, in a quiet moment with Kobe, Garp admits
You know Luffy is my grandson.
and realizes he may have to change his approach to stop him. He orders the Marines to prepare for serious action. Back on the Merry, Sanji stays behind and cooks while sharing his past. He reveals Zeph was once a feared pirate captain. Years ago, during a storm, Sanji's ship was destroyed, leaving him stranded with Zeph on a barren island. Zeph gave Sanji all the food while secretly sacrificing his own leg to survive, believing in Sanji's dream of finding the All Blue.
I have been searching for the All Blue.
From that day on, Sanji respected him as both captain and father. Inside the cabin, Nami reads to Zoro, telling the tragic story of Mont Blanc Noland. When Luffy questions it, Nami says leaders sometimes make cruel decisions. She challenges Luffy for letting Zoro fight Mihawk, but Luffy stands firm. He'll never stop his crew from chasing their dreams. Suddenly, danger arrives. Arlong and his fishmen storm Baratie, taking over the restaurant. Arlong declares himself ruler of the East Blue and demands Luffy, revealing he's after the map. Nami overhears and rushes to warn the crew, but it's too late. Luffy chooses to fight. Inside Baratie, Arlong reveals he tracked Luffy using Buggy's severed head. He offers Luffy a deal, join him in exchange for the map and treasure. Luffy refuses. A brutal fight erupts. Sanji battles the fishman but is overwhelmed. Luffy attacks Arlong, but the fishman's strength is on another level. Arlong easily overpowers him and throws him out. Then comes the shocking twist. Nami steps forward and reveals she's been working for Arlong all along. Luffy refuses to believe it, but Arlong confirms it's true. As Luffy struggles, Arlong drops him into the sea, leaving him to drown. At the last second, Sanji dives in and saves him. Nami leaves with Arlong. Back at Baratie, Zeph pushes Sanji to follow his dream and join Luffy's crew. Though reluctant at first, Sanji accepts. Meanwhile, Luffy goes to Zoro, admitting he failed. But in a powerful moment, Zoro wakes up and reassures him, vowing loyalty until they find the One Piece.
I, Roronoa Zoro, vow to stand by your side from now until the end, until we find the One Piece or die trying.
With their resolve stronger than ever, Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp prepare to chase Nami. And just as they set sail, Sanji officially joins the crew. In an emotional goodbye, he thanks Zeph, promising never to forget him. As the crew wonders how they'll find Nami, Luffy smirks. He already has a plan, because he secretly took Buggy's head and their next destination is clear. The journey continues. Straw Hat Pirates make a deal with Buggy to guide them toward the Konomi Islands in exchange for letting him his body back. As they sail, Luffy quietly wonders why Nami betrayed them.
I just want to know if Nami's okay.
Sanji believes she's being forced by the Arlong pirates,
Nami clearly needs to be rescued.
but Zoro sees it differently.
Nami made a choice.
Soon, the Going Merry arrives and the truth begins to unfold. At Arlong Park, Nami sits among the fishmen, playing cards like she belongs there. But beneath that calm surface, memories flood back of her childhood in Coco Village with her adoptive mother Belmere and sister Nojiko. Even after arguments and harsh words, Belmere always believed in Nami, even making her a simple tangerine pinwheel to comfort her. Back in the present, Nami hands over the Grand Line map to Arlong. He boasts about conquering the East Blue and promises her a reward, but then he gives her a cruel task. Return to Coco Village and collect tribute. Meanwhile, Garp arrives at Baratie. Over a tense meal with Zeph, he learns Luffy passed through. Kobe begins to question the Marine's justice, even revealing to his friend that
Garp is Luffy's grandfather.
once Garp learns where the Straw Hats went, he immediately sets course
for the Konomi Islands.
Back in Coco Village, the Straw Hats arrive to a broken, hopeless place. The villagers struggle to gather enough money to survive under Arlong's rule. Then Nami appears, cold, distant, unrecognizable. She demands more money from them, ignoring their suffering. When she sees Luffy and the others, she tells them to leave, but Luffy doesn't believe that. Determined to learn the truth, the crew seeks out Nojiko. At first, she threatens them, but after Sanji offers her a meal, she finally reveals everything. 8 years ago, Arlong attacked Coco Village. Belmere hid Nami and Nojiko, but when Arlong discovered them, she made a choice. She paid for her daughter's lives, and sacrificed her own. Right in front of them, shot dead. That moment changed everything. Back in the present, Luffy sits on the roof, silent but resolute. Zoro thinks Nami made her decision.
So did you.
He believes in her. At Arlong Park, Nami returns with the village's tribute and finally reveals the truth. She has gathered 100 million belly, enough to buy Coco Village's freedom. Arlong tells her to bring it by sunrise, but the moment she leaves, he betrays her, sending Marines to steal the money back. That night, Nojiko discovers Nami digging up treasure from Belmere's grave. Nami finally breaks down and reveals everything. She joined Arlong. She became a traitor, all to save the village. But it was all for nothing. The Marines, working with Arlong, take everything. Nami runs desperately through the village. Her dream shattered. She collapses. And in a heartbreaking moment, desperate to erase the pain, the past, everything. Then, Luffy grabs her hand. She tries to push him away, but finally breaks. Tears streaming down her face, she cries out the words she's been holding in for years. Without hesitation, Luffy places his straw hat on her head, his greatest treasure, and says, "Of course I will!" Behind him, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp step forward, ready. But as they turn toward the village, smoke rises, flames spread. Arlong has begun his attack, and now, it's war. "8 years ago, a young girl named Nami made a deal with the ruthless fisherman pirate Arlong. joining his crew and receiving a sawfish tattoo. She was forced to draw maps for him while secretly working to earn enough money to buy back her village. In the present day, the Straw Hat crew arrives at Coco Village only to find it completely destroyed. The villagers led by Genzo finally learn the truth about Nami's sacrifice and apologize to her, replacing years of hatred with gratitude as she is no longer alone.
Coco Village is my home.
But despite this, Genzo prepares to fight Arlong even if it means death until Luffy steps forward and declares that they will fight together.
At the same time, Garp arrives with the Marines and begins twisting the truth by blaming the Straw Hats for the destruction of the village. Inside Arlong Park, the battle begins as Usopp uses smoke bombs to create chaos before the Straw Hats break through the gates and charge in. Usopp faces Chu in a clever fight where he fakes his death using ketchup before launching his exploding star attack.
Special attack! Exploding star!
That ignites Chu's alcohol and defeats him.
The great Captain Usopp fails another notorious villain! And no one's around to see it. He'll believe me.
Roronoa, Zoro and Sanji take on waves of fishmen until Karubi appears and initially overpowers them. But after insulting Nami, Sanji turns the tide with powerful kicks and finishes him off with
One shot!
At the top of the tower, Luffy and Nami confront Arlong as he mocks her and calls her a tool, which enrages Luffy enough to snap Arlong's blade with his bare hands. Luffy declares that
No one messes with my friends. Round 2, Arlong.
leading into a brutal fight where Luffy battles Arlong's monstrous strength with his own unbreakable will. Luffy realizes that everything Arlong built is upon Nami's suffering, so instead of just defeating him, Luffy begins destroying the entire tower, unleashing Gum Gum Gatling followed by Gum Gum Battle Axe, which sends Arlong crashing down and completely destroys his empire. After the dust settles, Luffy emerges victorious and tells Nami that she is part of his crew, bringing freedom back to Coco Village. But the celebration is interrupted when Garp arrives and orders Luffy's arrest, leading to a clash between grandfather and grandson where Garp easily overpowers Luffy but is reminded of Gold D. Roger when Luffy declares his dream of becoming king of the pirates, causing Garp to laugh and ultimately let him go. The next morning Nami visits the grave of Belmere, finally free and now bearing a new tattoo symbolizing her past and her family, before Luffy receives his first bounty of 30 million berry, the highest in the East Blue, drawing attention from powerful figures like Dracula, Mihawk and Shanks, signaling the beginning of his rise. And as the Straw Hats regroup aboard the Going Merry, they prepare for their next journey to the Grand Line. Sanji had an idea to do cast-off ceremony on a barrel.
I'm gonna find the old blue.
Yeah, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
I'm gonna be the world's greatest swordsman.
I'm gonna draw a map of the world.
I'm gonna become a brave warrior of the sea!
Luffy boldly proclaims that
Grand Line. Nothing's gonna stand in our way! Yeah!
their legendary adventure truly begins.